Dr. Sarah Chen stood before the monolithic structure, her breath forming small clouds in the thin atmosphere of Kepler 442b. The archaeological team had been excavating this site for 3 standard months, and what they'd found defied every known principle of xenoarchaeology. The database was old, impossibly old. Carbon dating suggested it predated the formation of Earth itself by several billion years. The Galactic Council's leading scientists, representatives from 47 different species, had attempted to access its systems using every known method of technological interface. They'd tried quantum entanglement keys, electromagnetic pulse sequences, gravitational wave modulation, and even exotic matter manipulation. Nothing worked. The structure simply sat there, a perfect obsidian cube measuring exactly 100 meters on each side, reflecting nothing and absorbing all attempts at penetration. No seams, no ports, no visible access points of any kind. It's impossible, Zarthulos had declared 3 weeks ago, his crystalline form refracting the pale light of the system's distant star. The Crystalline Collective's representative was considered the foremost expert in ancient technologies across known space. Without access protocols, this database is nothing more than an elaborate tombstone. Whatever civilization built this wanted to ensure their secrets died with them. But Sarah couldn't accept that. Humanity had only joined the Galactic Council 40 years ago, barely a newcomer in a community of species that measured their civilizations in millions of years. Yet there was something about this structure that called to her, something that whispered of possibilities the other species couldn't see. She approached the cube alone, against the protests of her colleagues. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the barren landscape. The rest of the team had retired to the base camp, discouraged by another day of failed attempts. Sarah placed her gloved hand against the surface. It was cold, far colder than the surrounding environment should allow. She could feel vibrations through her suit, subtle oscillations that seemed almost alive. "Hello," she said, her voice transmitted through her helmet's external speakers. It was foolish, she knew, anthropomorphizing an ancient computer system. But something in her gut told her to try. The response was immediate and startling. The obsidian surface rippled like water, and symbols began appearing, not on the surface but within it, floating in 3-dimensional space inside the supposedly solid structure. They were beautiful, geometric patterns that seemed to shift between mathematical equations and artistic representations of cosmic phenomena. "Genetic marker recognized," a voice announced in perfect English emanating from the cube itself. "Welcome, inheritor." Sarah stumbled backward, her heart racing. "What? How do you know my language?" "Language construct derived from vocal pattern analysis. Genetic material confirms authorization. You are descended from the Cedars." "The Cedars?" Sarah's mind reeled. Who were they? The cube pulsed with light, and suddenly the air around Sarah filled with holographic imagery. She saw a species that looked remarkably human, bipedal, 5-fingered bilateral symmetry, but taller, with luminescent skin that seemed to glow with inner light. 12 billion years ago, the Cedars initiated the Grand Project. Life as it exists in this galaxy was cultivated, guided, nurtured. 47 species now thrive in this sector. All were children of the Cedars' design. Sarah's breath caught. The implications were staggering. Every species in the Galactic Council, all the ancient civilizations that looked down on humanity as primitive newcomers, had been engineered by this ancient race. "But humans?" she asked. "Where do we fit in this?" "Humans are direct descendants, genetic line unbroken, consciousness patterns preserved through biological inheritance. The other species were experiments, variations, attempts to create life that could thrive in different environments. Humans alone carry the Cedars' complete genetic legacy." The hologram shifted, showing Earth in its primordial state. She watched as the Cedars arrived, carefully introducing the basic building blocks of life, then departing. Unlike the other species, which had been given advanced civilizations from the start, humanity had been allowed to develop naturally, slowly, earning every advancement through struggle and innovation. "Why were we left to develop alone?" Sarah asked. The Cedars believed true growth required adversity. The other species were given tools, technology, civilization. Humans were given only potential. The Cedars wanted to see if their direct, Descendants could rediscover greatness without guidance. Sarah understood now why her voice had triggered the system. It wasn't about technology or access codes. The database had been waiting for DNA, for a specific genetic signature that only humans carried. The Cedars had locked their greatest repository of knowledge behind a biological key, one that could only be turned by their true children. "What happens now?" she asked. "Now the inheritance is claimed. All knowledge of the Cedars is yours. Technology spanning billions of
years, understanding of reality at its deepest
levels. The tools to transcend physical limitations. Humanity has earned this through patience and perseverance." The cube began to glow brighter, its surface transforming into pure information. Sarah could see vast databases of scientific knowledge, engineering specifications for technologies that made the Galactic Council's most advanced systems look like stone tools, and philosophical frameworks that promised to revolutionize human understanding of consciousness itself. She activated her comlink. "Team, you need to get out here now." As her colleagues rushed from the base camp, Sarah smiled. The galaxy's ancient species had spent millennia trying to access this database, believing their advanced technologies and ancient wisdom entitled them to its secrets. They never considered that the database didn't want clever technology or sophisticated access protocols. It wanted something far simpler. A voice it recognized, a genetic pattern it remembered, a call from home after billions of years of waiting. Humanity had arrived late to the galactic stage, young and inexperienced. But in that moment, as the ancient database opened itself completely to Sarah's commands, she understood a fundamental truth. Sometimes the last to arrive inherit everything the first have forgotten. The meek, as an ancient human text once promised, had indeed inherited the earth, and now it seemed they were about to inherit the stars as well.